Hi, and welcome to this presentation of an introduction to beginning manners group dog training class. This presentation is for people who are interested in taking a dog training class and is also required watching for people who have enrolled in our beginning manners classes. You can see a full list of classes at vallejo.dogtraining.org. And if you're interested in the pet dog training classes that I teach specifically, you can see those at Vallejo Dog Training Club website, as well as our own website, which is doggydetail.com. My name is Trish, and I am a certified pet dog trainer, and I also hold a fear-free certificate. What this means is that I am a dog-friendly teacher. I only teach with force and intimidation-free methods using positive reinforcement. When you enroll in the dog training class, you'll get a PDF copy of my dog training manual. In this manual, we'll have all of the exercises broken down for you, and also each week's curriculum will be in the manual. At the first session of class, everybody also receives a dog training clicker that we'll be using in class. This presentation will review class guidelines, also a shopping list of what to bring to class, and best practices for before and after class. First up is class guidelines. So this is a group dog training class, and it's specifically for dogs that are friendly and non-reactive. For beginning manners, that's going to be for dogs of all ages, and then for our puppy manners class, that's for puppies that are under 6 months at time of enrollment. Regardless of age, every dog needs to be up to date on vaccinations, and they also need to be under owner control. Since this group class, the focus is on you teaching your dog to pay attention to you, please do not allow your dog to interact with the other dogs in class. Remember too that new experiences like dog school can be stressful on our dogs. Most of you will have not taken a dog training class with this particular dog, and anytime you're in a new environment, the dogs can show stress in different ways. Some of your dogs are going to be hyped up and agitated, and others, your dogs are going to be showing more recognizable signs of fear, hiding or shivering. When you first come into the training facility, we're going to advise you to put your mat down and then just start treating and offering rewards on your dog's mat. If your dog is not able to eat, then they're too stressed to even learn. So at first, if all that you're doing is treating and rewarding your dog for being in this new place, that's great. And that is the process of classical conditioning, which is pairing a scary situation with rewards to make that scary situation a little less scary. Dogs learn from their successes, so even if all your dog can do that first night of class is eat their treats, and maybe at the end of class they're feeling a little bit better and they can come out from under the chair, that's a great success, and it will absolutely set you up for progress for the following week. I want everybody to consider that dogs look at what they're thinking about. So if your dog at first is really focusing on the other dogs or thinking about the other dogs, your group class is going to help them to not pay attention as much to the other dogs, and instead the dogs are going to learn to pay attention to you. For people, there are a few guidelines as well. So we ask that you come prepared with your dog training class supplies. You can put them in a tote bag or a backpack and bring everything with you to class. For people, there's also requirements for shoes. So please only wear closed-toed shoes. And then also we ask you to dress in layers because our facility has a roll-up door in the back, and we're going to have the roll-up door open. It can get cold. It's not heated. And then finally, regardless of your stress level, at the first class, some people are also stressed and worried about their dog's behavior or their dog's ability to be in a group class, smile and have fun. So we ask that you do this because it will alleviate the stress and the tension on the dog. If they see that you're having fun, it makes them more calm and able to relax. Our group classes are fun for people and dogs. And remember too that dogs all learn at their own pace. This is a video of a group dog training class taken last year before COVID, and they're practicing waiting in a vet's waiting room. So you can see some dogs are working on stays, other dogs are off to the side having a chew, but they're pretty close together and these dogs are focused on their people. Your dogs will look like this too after 8 weeks of training. It's fantastic. So the next category is what to bring your dog training class supplies. We're going to ask you to get 2 leashes. So first you're going to want to bring a regular leash with a clip. The only stipulation on that is that it not be a chain leash. The next kind of leash that we're going to ask you to get is what's called a long line or a training lead. The picture on the left shows you the package. I just snapped some pictures over at the Pet Food Express store, but you can get these on Amazon or online at any pet store. When they get dirty, they can go right into the washing machine, and we're going to use these in class to practice recalls and also loose leash walking and stays. The only kind of leash that we don't allow you to bring is going to be, aside from the chain leash, is a retractable leash. So these are not suited for a dog training environment. I need you to get some equipment for your dogs. If your dog is a heavy puller or a reactive dog, I'm going to ask you to buy a head halter. So the 2 dogs on the left have head halters not because they pull, but because they're reactive. They like to lunge out and bark at other dogs on walks, and also they get scared by bikes and skateboards. They're wearing the Gentle Leader head halter, and there's also another brand called Halty or Holt head collar. You can see on the video, this is Willow, and she's a 90-pound Bouvier. You can see she's wearing the Gentle Leader on her face. It still allows her to breathe and to pant. It's not a muzzle, but it does allow us to walk without my arm coming out of the socket. So you can see if I stop, it makes her turn her head back towards me rather than continue to pull. She's a graduate of our Beginning Manners course in 2019. If your dog is an average puller, that means they're not able to pull you more than 3 feet. Your arm does stay in the socket when they pull. I'd like to recommend a no-pull harness for your dog. That's a harness where the leash clips in the front of the chest. This is Olive, and she's wearing a Easy Walk harness. The leash clips in front. I went to the Pet Food Express and shot this photo on the left to show you the different kinds of no-pull harnesses that are available. They have Freedom harnesses, Easy Walk harnesses, and then another brand called Wildebeest no-pull harness. You can get any kind of no-pull harness online or at most pet stores. If your dog doesn't pull, you can bring pretty much any kind of flat collar or buckle collar. The Boston Terrier here is wearing a martingale collar. It has a little chain between the 2 sides, and that's a limited slip collar for dogs where their head and their necks are almost the same size. If your dog is not going to wear a regular collar, you'd like your dog to wear a harness instead, you can get a regular harness or you can get a padded comfort harness. Either way is fine. The kinds of collars that we don't allow you to use in class are going to be choke collars, prong collars, and e-collars, but anything else is good. We also are going to want you to bring food rewards, treats to use at dog school. I want you to bring high value rewards that are soft and meaty. High value rewards are a lot better in dog school because there's higher distraction at the dog school. When you're training at home, you can always use kibble and low value rewards, but they are just not going to cut it when you come to class and there's 5 other dogs, or when you are in Manners B and we're out at the Benicia Marina walking past dogs that are not from our class, or skateboards or bikes and that kind of thing. High value rewards make it a lot easier to teach the dogs, and it makes it a lot easier for them to pay attention to you. Here's some different kinds of high value rewards. There's one of my favorites is string cheese. I love Ziwi Peak and Kiwi Kitchen. And then there's also Red Barn Roll, which is a compressed dog food roll. You can always use dog safe leftovers as well. I want you to consider meat-based treats. Those are probably the best kind of treats to use at dog school. This is a little bit about treat preparation. So even if you use good meat-based treats, you may still need to do some prep at home. If you have a small dog, you're going to need to bring at least 1 quart-sized bag of 2 to 3 different kinds of treats, and you're going to need to cut them very small, 1/4 to 1/8 size of a penny. If you have a big dog, you're going to need 2 quart-sized bags of 2 to 3 different kinds of soft treats again, and you're going to want to cut those treats or break them up into 1/2 to 1/4 size of a penny. In dog class, we are going to be rewarding dogs for good behavior, and as we reward them for good behavior and the behaviors we ask them to do, it's going to make it easier for them to continue to give us that good behavior. So we need to give them ample rewards because, again, dogs learn from their successes, and we are going to set them up for success by offering the best kinds of rewards. The other things I'd like you to bring each week are dog training treat pouch, a jar of meat flavored baby food, a small mat or towel that your dog can sit on. You're also going to need to bring travel water, and if you have a travel bowl, that would be great, or if you have one of these collapsible travel water containers, that's great too. And poop bags, you're always going to need those. And then I need you to bring edible chews. So here is just a review of the shopping list. For dog gear, you're going to need a head harness, no pull harness, regular collar, or a regular harness. You're going to need to bring your 2 leashes. One is your shorter 6 to 8 foot, and one is your long line. I'd like you to bring your mat, travel water, and poop bags. As far as dog treat goes, you're going to need to bring high value, irresistible, meaty, and cheesy soft treats that are cut small. And then for treat delivery, you're going to need a treat pouch. You're going to need a jar of baby food, all meat flavored, and then a dog chew. Now we are on to best practices for before and after class. So before class, if your dog is super high energy or young, we ask that you walk, run, or play to burn off some energy. Please don't just show up from work, grab your dog out of the house, and come to dog school and expect them to maintain their cool. Give them a chance to blow off some steam before you bring them to class. Consider also delaying dinner until after class, or you can feed a reduced meal. Again, your dog is going to eat a lot in class, and most dogs are not going to need a meal when they get home, especially if you have a small dog. So for small dogs, their tummies are small too. If you've got a lab or a pit bull who can eat for days, then fine, you can feed them when you get home. I want you to check and restock your training supplies in your training bag before class, just to make sure that if you ran out of your dog's favorite treat, that you've got ample supply for tonight's class or for next week's class. And then finally, please review the lesson plan and familiarize yourself with the behaviors that we're going to go over that week so that you are prepared and ready. After class best practices. Consider your dog is going to be exhausted after dog school because training is brain work for them and paying attention is brain work for them. They're also going to need to go to the bathroom right away. So if you have a long drive, there is a grassy area in front of the dog school that you can be sure to try to get them to potty on. Most dogs, again, are not going to need a meal after a class because they got so many treats, but consider if you fed them before class and they ate a lot at class, then absolutely consider them good to not have a meal when you get home. After class the next day, it's great to review the lesson plan and then plan to add the lessons from class into your daily activities for that week, just so that you get a little more practice daily doing the behaviors that you learned in school. And then finally, take that week's training out on the road when you're out at walks. So we're working stay, we're working sit, we're working any behavior. You can always take that out on the road. The reason why we ask you to do this is because dogs don't generalize well. And if you only practice in the kitchen or you only practice at dog school, they're going to get really good doing the behaviors in the kitchen or at dog school, but they won't be able to do it when you're at the Starbucks or out at a picnic. So be sure to practice at different places around town. Finally, if you have any questions or concerns about your group class or about classes in general, feel free to reach out to me. And thank you very much. We hope to see you soon.